You've heard of wine tasting, maybe even water tasting. But the highest degree of any liquid tasting belongs to the ancient and secret hobby of fish keepers. Many suggest using water testing kits for keeping your aquarium's chemistry in check. Others, like myself, suggest just knowing your aquarium and keeping up with regular maintenance. But all of these opinions are wrong. Toss that test kit in the garbage and fuck regular maintenance. Because sampling the flavor of your aquarium's water is the true and only method of water testing. Today, I'm going to walk you guys through the tasting of each of my aquarium's water, including a comprehensive guide of the aquariums themselves, and I will thus demonstrate how to identify the various parameters of your water through the analysis of color, flavor, and smell. Let's get into it. First, the 9-gallon aquarium, a Flugel Flex, standard gravel substrate heavily planted with Java ferns, crypts, and an Amazon sword. The abundance of these plants, in addition to the floaters, should create a very mild taste due to the likely low amounts of nitrates that will be present within the aquarium. This tank is also relatively devoid of calcium because I have very soft water and don't actually add any extra calcium here, so we're unlikely to get any of that milkiness or chalkiness that we would find otherwise. So I suspect the flavor in here to be slightly acidic from all the botanicals I've added for the dwarf pencilfish in there, but there's only one real way to find out, isn't there? Kind of like wine tasting, we're not actually going to swallow any of the water. We're simply going to sip, swish it around, and then spit it out. And then that way the flavors from one tank won't cloud our future tastings.
We got a nice helping of water here.
All right, there we go. There is our little glass here, and we're gonna take a sip. Okay, pretty acidic as I suspected from all the botanicals in there. It's quite a nice fresh flavor from all the, well, you know, as you expect fresh water to be. Nitrates have like a strong bitter flavor and I'm not getting that, so I think the plants are definitely doing their job in there. Overall, yeah, this is actually pretty nice. I wouldn't mind having a glass of this every morning. Plus, get a floater in there. Nice and crunchy, great flavor. Overall, this tank gets a 9 out of 10 in terms of flavor. Alright, let's move on to the 10-gallon. It's a standard tank, sponge filter, it's wall-stad, and it's decently planted with anacris and some other bits. This tank is much more heavily stocked and has much less plants compared to the 9-gallon, for instance, so we'll probably get that bitter nitrate flavor much more in this tank as opposed to the previous one. I also dose calcium and magnesium on here to help the plants, so I'm expecting those flavors to be present, so a bit chalkier than the other tank. There's also not many botanicals in here and the pH is much higher, so it's likely that we'll get a less sour flavor in this aquarium as opposed to the last one. So one important thing to note with this aquarium is the wood in here. Now that's going to create a sort of mild tea-like flavor from both the tannins and the wood itself. There was a bit of wood in the 9-gallon, but we didn't get much flavor from that, but I'm expecting it to be a lot more intense in here. But there's only one way to find out. Now I know earlier I said we'd analyze color, but I mean, none of them have really any color to them, so it's not a very reliable method. Okay. Can definitely taste a bit of sourness from the wood in there, which creates actually a nice flavor. It's a bit chalky from the magnesium and the calcium in there, which creates a different flavor than we saw in the other tank. You can definitely taste the nitrates. It's a nice bitter flavor. It's not bad or anything. It's not like ammonia. If you've ever smelled ammonia, it smells like dead leaves mixed with dog piss. It's awful, but this is actually quite nice. You know, I just realized something. The true reason to cycle an aquarium is not for the benefit of the fish or to cut down on maintenance. No, it's nothing like that. It's to make your water taste better. How about that? That being said, significantly worse than the other tank. You know, like a 7 out of 10. It's not bad. Wouldn't drink it every morning, but let's move on to the next one. Blackwater time. Here's an interesting tank, very dark in color. Tannins are obviously very present. It's populated with corridors catfish, a pleco, a betta, copella arnoldi, and there's both Indiana black tetras all swimming around in the water here. There's tons of wood and leaf litter in this one, and it's a bit murky too for my bamboo shrimp in here. So between that and the tannins, I'm expecting sort of a murky woodish flavor. The kind you get if you took some tea and dropped a bit of dirt inside. I don't expect many nitrates to be present with all the floaters, but you never know. There's only one way to find out. So, expecting the Blackwater to taste like a mix of tea, wood, and mud, but only one way to find out, of course. Okay, that's kind of weird. It's a lot sourer than any of the other two tanks, which is definitely from all the botanicals. It kind of tastes like you took rooibos tea, but then made it with pond water, and then waterlogged 5 pieces of wood in it for like 3 years, and then chucked some leaves in it, and then served it in a glass. So it kind of just tastes like shitty tea, but it's cold because, you know, fish don't live in piping hot water. It's not that good. It's really not that good. It's like a 6 out of 10. The tank's pretty though, so you know that's good. Thought I'd like it better if I tried it again. I didn't. Really didn't. 1 fish, this many plants. I'm thinking this is just gonna taste like a pond. Not expecting much flavor, but only one way to find out. Definitely not much nitrate flavor is gonna be in here because, well, there's only 1 fish producing nitrate, but there is all that malm and detritus on the bottom, so you never know. I'm sure there's an old saying somewhere about not drinking stagnant water, but yeah. That's actually quite nice. It's like I think the lemon bacopa actually tastes like lemon. Is it supposed to taste like that? Do other people know it tastes like that? I gotta look this up. Memory enhancer. Yeah, right. What a bunch of bullshit. Dead leaves mixed with dog piss. God, my channel sucks. I hate this tank. I should just go back to the days I thought Java ferns were crypts. My dream tank was a beta sorority. No more podcasts. Too many podcasts. Too much aquarium water. Hey guys, bonus clip here. So the video's a joke, obviously, but if anyone was genuinely curious, the first 2 tanks kind of just taste like water. There's a hint of the fact that you're not drinking water from the tap, but they just kind of taste like water. This one does not taste like tea, but it is a bit sourer, like, honestly. And the bowl tastes absolutely awful, like terrible. Like, it feels like you took some stagnant water and drank it, which is what I did. So, I mean, I don't know what I was expecting, but if anyone was genuinely curious, that's what it tastes like. And someone's probably thinking you left out the jar area. I'm not gonna drink that, okay? I guarantee that tastes like awful, and it's probably got some freaking like parasite living in it that I don't even want in my mouth for a second. So no,